Yo, what's up, boys and girls? It's your boy BellyDrum. So, I kind of went on a tangent last night, and I kind of wanted to see if I can make a good Regulation I ranked VGC team. So, I've been seeing this wheezing going around where it uses the ability neutralizing gas, and basically, with neutralizing gas, you get Regieleki not having slow start. Uh you get Koraidon with the auricular impulse only if you have the ability shield. And neutralizing gas does not affect Catlorex's ability as one. So I decided to put a little team together. Now it's not finished, it's still a work in progress, and I didn't know if I was able to use Regieleki with the team. However, it is confirmed that I am able to because I did a battle and the guy legitimately quit. So I haven't even finished this entire team and the dude rage quit so hard. Now I want to go over all the stats, abilities, items, EVs, everything. I want to go over the stats with you guys, my way of thinking, and how this team is legitimately going to work out. So longtime fans know about the Miraidon Jolteon combo, where basically you set up the Hadron engine, basically electric terrain, and you get damage on your Miraidon. And then Jolteon just comes in and copycats the Electro Drift or Parabolic Charge so that way you can gain extra health, right? So I figured I might just try to go ahead and do a Koraidon team. Because obviously I have both Shiny Koraidon and Shiny Miraidon. How I picked both of these up, one of my favorite stories to tell. But that's a different time. Alright, so this is the Koraidon moveset. Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Scale Shot, Protect. Now we're just going to the standard 252, 252, Jolly, Max Attack, Max Speed. So the reason why I'm going with Scale Shot is because I think people are too scared to just let this Pokemon get nuked. Yes, it's doing a lot of damage. However, most people run it like this. They run Flame Charge, which is only 50% base power, okay? And then they go Terra Fire, which, yes, you get Sun boosted, but if we do Scale Shot and we go Terra Dragon, not only will you boost your speed, you'll lower your defense, but that's fine because we want this to do as much damage as we possibly can. So, Scale Shot hits 2 to 5 times. And we're going to be boosting on the Dragon side because they go Terra Fire. Most of them normally go Terra Fire. But we're not going Collision Course because we're doing 120 stab on the Close Combat. And then with the Auricular Impulse, Flare Blitz is doing absurd amount of damage anyway. So that's the Koraidon. Now, the reason why we have to have Ability Shield is because neutralizing gas will take away Koraidon's ability unless we have the Ability Shield. So, that's my thought process on the Koraidon. Just make it fast, make it hit hard, and we can get rid of Focus Sash with Scale Shot. Now, obviously we can do that with the Flame Charge, but I think we'll get more value out of the Scale Shot just in case they don't go Terra Fairy or whatever. Alright, so this is my normal Calyrex set. This is the one that I run with my Miraidon team. So I want it to be bulky, fast, and just do damage, right? So we're sitting at 200 hit points, 110 defense, 203 special attack, and 200 on the speed. We're timid nature. So with neutralizing gas, it doesn't get rid of the as one ability. So we'll get +1 to our special attack if we take out an opponent, or they won't eat their berries, which is going to be good for us because we want to shut down people as hard, as fast as possible. Now the set that I'm running on the Calyrex is Terra Fairy. Most of the Calyrex shadows go with Psychic instead of Draining Kiss, but I figured if we're just tanking hits and we're gonna boost our fairy type anyway, we might as well get as much health back as possible. So I'm not too worried about getting Psychic by another Calyrex. You know, we're gonna try to just shut it down as hard as possible. Okay, now sometimes they run Encore, sometimes they run Disable. I'm running Disable so that way they can't Astral Barrage me back. Now I'm gonna get into the Wheezing set real quick. Alright, so with the Wheezing set, I'm gonna go with Terra Fire Flamethrower, simply for the fact that if Koraidon is setting up the sun, why don't we take advantage of that, get rid of everybody's ability, and we can have a 10% chance to burn them. And we're doing absurd amount of damage because we're just gonna do max hit points, max special attack, and then 12 on the special defense, because that's the way that the EVs work. But we get rid of everybody's ability, then we're trying to shut them down as fast as possible. So if, say, a Whimsicott comes in with Prankster and tries to set up a Tailwind or a Helping Hand or anything that involves Prankster, it's not going to do anything because we have Taunt. Now Taunt gets rid of any status moves, basically. And then obviously Protect, 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 Spiky Shield, and Protect. So in doubles, you really need to have the Protect, for one, to simply scout out the opponent's moves, for one, see what they're going to do, and then weigh your options on how you're going to win the game. And then we have Sludge Bomb here, just in case somebody goes to Fairy type. Now, most people run Sludge Bomb, Taunt, Protect, Will-O-Wisp, Strange Stream. But the reason why I'm not going to run Strange Stream is simply for the fact that we got this as a Fairy type, Whimsicott as a Fairy type, and this as a Fairy type. So if we have a little bit of diversity, I think it'll be so much better. And nobody can really come in that's a Steel type on the Wheezing and Koraidon setup. Nobody can really come in as a Steel type with the Calyrex and Wheezing, because if I have to Terra the Calyrex and they are Steel type, Wheezing can just flamethrower them. Simple as that. Now we have a 30% chance to poison, and we also have a 10% chance to burn. So it really just depends on what kind of Pokemon we're trying to hit. Now, we also have another lead, Wheezing with Regigigas. So Regigigas has the Slow Start ability. On switching, this Pokemon's attack and speed are halved for 5 turns. However, that is not the case with neutralizing gas, simply for the fact that we will get rid of the Slow Start ability. And I put Clear Amulet on there because we're just going to go max attack, put a little bit of speed investment in there, try to outspeed what we can, and then the rest in hit points. Now, we already have high enough defense, so it's fine. We're at 110 hit points, 110 defense, 110 special defense. So I figured we just try to do as much damage on this Regigigas. as possible. So the moves, so I put clear amulet on there just in case there's an intimidate Pokemon. It won't intimidate the Regigigas. Now I'll put water type just in case we go up against a Koraidon and it tries to use close combat on me, or whatever the other move is, collision course. But it shouldn't take me out because it's water type. Fighting is resisted, I do believe, and so is fire typing. Now, I'm going with double edge just to try to one-shot things. Now, I could body slam, try to paralyze, but that looks like it doesn't one-shot Pokemon. Now, this is kind of like support damage roll because we have the wide guard. Now, if anybody knows about my Ogerpon and my Pelipper, you know that the Pelipper has wide guard, and it also has, voice crack, it also has Surf, which means that Ogerpon has water absorb, basically gaining back health. But simply for the fact that wide guard is such a busted move, we're just gonna one-shot everything pretty much with this Regigigas. That's the plan anyway. Now, if other people have Koraidon and Calyrex, I can lead the Weezing and the Regigigas, and I can Terra Water on first turn and try to knock out what I think the bigger threat is going to be. So, if I think it's going to be Calyrex Shadow, then I could come in and hit them with Sludge Bomb, try to poison the Calyrex, or knock off depending on what I want. Now, Wide Guard helps multi-hitting moves such as Astral Barrage, Earthquake, things of that nature. Very good, very busted. Now, I don't know how well this team is gonna do, but I'm hoping it'll be great. Alright, so this is just my standard Ivy Cudgel Ogerpon set. Now, it's my favorite set to run with, obviously, Pelipper. We have 188 hit points, 132 adamant attack, 112 defense, 16 special defense, 60 on the speed. Alright, so we have Follow Me. So, basically, the opponent only hits Ogerpon that turn unless it has AoE moves, such as Astral Barrage, Earthquake, things of that nature. Now, the reason why we're going with Water Pond is basically because Ivy Cudgel, if it hits a critical hit, which it has a high crit chance, and it's in the sun, it will negate the sun's effect. Okay? That's huge for us, because we have basically a 50-50 chance of breaking through. Now, obviously, that's not the actual odds, but for this instance, it's 50-50. We have a high critical hit ratio with base 100 power, 100% accuracy, and it's a water type. So, if any of the other Koraidons are going with Terra Fire, then we're going to try to do as much damage as possible. And we're going to try to get a crit. Now I have Horn Leech to get back health. Now getting health back on Water Pond is probably the most essential thing that you can use, that you can do. Spiky Shield, obviously, if you get hit by physical attack or anything that makes contact, the opponent will lose health. And that's just how great this Ogerpon set is. Alright. Alright, last but not least, we have Whimsicott. Now, if you know anything about doubles, you definitely want to have speed control, which means that you need to be the fastest on the field, whether that be Trick Room or Tailwind. Most of the time it's Tailwind. Other times it's Trick Room. Now, you have to find ways to counter the Trick Room, but Tailwind, it's a little bit easier. So, basically, the Whimsicott is here for the simple fact that if Galarian Weezing goes down, then we're going to have a fast Tailwind, which means we're going to try to do as much damage as fast as possible. Now, obviously, we're just going to go Fairy type Moonblast because that's essentially the most damage that this Whimsicott gets, except for Hurricane, which we're not going to go Terra Flying because that's stupid and we are not in the rain. Solar Beam can do a bunch of damage in sunlight, but grass has a lot of resistances, pretty much. So we're just going to use Moonblast, try to lower the special attack by 1. Helping Hand gives our teammates a 1.5 boost to their damage. Protect, obviously. Tailwind to boost speed for 4 turns. We are Focus Sash just to try to get as much usefulness out of this team as possible. Now this is just simply max special attack, max speed. Terra Fairy, just in case we have to do that. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and finish the team. But if you think this team is going to do good in ranked Regulation I VGC movesets, let me know down in the comments. But with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with friends, link in the description down below for all my socials. It's your boy BellyDrum. Peace.